It's creating it. Got this little yo-yo knife hookup. I mean, this is actually kind of like a, I guess you could consider this a snake in a tail type weapon because, you know what I'm saying? You got, well, basically, I guess you got from tip to tip. This is an extension of the arm, basically. And at the same time, I guess, no, it's more like this. Do you remember Mortal Kombat? And Scorpion had that thing, and he'd go, get over here. That's basically what this basically is, too. It's just a dart on a string. Well, in this case, it's not just a dart. It's more like it's actual knife. So it's just a handled knife, string, attached to my hand, my wrist. Just simple loop. Put the string through the loop and draw it to your hand. And so, drop it. You got it here. And then there's all kinds of different usages you could use this for. For instance, let's just put yourself in a good Indiana Jones situation. You're falling down the hill, and there's a cliff, and you're fast approaching the cliff, and you could whip out your little yo-yo knife on the way down, your go-go gadget knife, basically, MacGyver go-go gadget, and you wrap it around, a little tree, and then you're dangling from your get over here. So it's got survival applications. You know what I'm saying? Which is life preserving applications as opposed to, life hindering or taking or, you know what I'm saying, applications. Same thing. You can do this with your, or you could do it, you can take it off of your wrist and attach it to your belt loop, for instance. Same deal though. It's like, look, you got this. You still got this too. So the weapon's got two applications. You can use it also as a device to catch someone's arm or a different limb of the body. But there's there's pros and cons to that. It's good, when you're able to wrap someone up and tie them up. So they, basically once you got them tied up, they can't go anywhere. But if you get them partially tied to you, it's like going real quick and tying yourself to a wild tiger. You know what I'm saying? How is that going to work out for you? So you got to think of it that way too. It's best not to entangle yourself with ferocious tigers. You know what I'm saying? Basically. So it's better. This is an up close. It's an up close, but you can modify it into a long distance weapon as well. By the fact that you can, you can kind of sling the blade, dude. It's the best way I can describe it. You sling the blade with the rope, and it adds this centrifugal extension force. Kind of, it's similar to I guess slinging stones, but a little more advanced. Because I could detach the string and just use it free too. Got the string dangling here, so I could use the string and use the the tied portion. You could take the blade out actually as well, and just have a handle here on the end of a string basically as well. So like once again, I said that it's just like when the ridge of the blade and the ridge of the sword, or the ridge of the blade or the flat portion of the sword. It's like using that. It's the non-lethal applications for everything. For everything that's really dangerous, there's an opposite, less dangerous way to use any device. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it's kind of like you could think it this way too. Star Trek. Since Spock just died, we'll throw him up in here, even though I wasn't a big fan of Star Trek, and I heard that it was basically propaganda of the CIA to condition us to a futuristic Big Brother, Mark of the Beast types, Orwellian, Huxley type society situation. But anyway, back to that. It's set your phaser on stun, as opposed to set your phaser on full. You know, this is low tech, ancient way of phaser. Look, phaser on high, phaser on. See, it's got a tricky phaser on stun. It's got a tricky little release, but that's good because it's got a sturdy mechanism. You know, the weakness of these knives too, these folders, is the spot where it folds. You know what I'm saying? When you got one straight piece of metal, it's a lot sturdier, especially for throwing and high impact things. But they also have a tendency to just the blade will just snap. You know what I'm saying? Off, which I've snapped so many blades and Chinese star tips and other things. You know, it's like, man, yeah, I could understand why people were always seeking out the more perfect types of metal to use in construction of weapons and tools. You know, like they said, I heard something like an axe head from the 1800s is so much better designed than the ones that we got at present day that they can't even figure out how they made the ones from 100 years ago, or either that they purposefully lost the technology to dumb us down and turn us from into a more consumerist type society. Because if you got to constantly replace things, it keeps the oil in the gears of the beast, basically. But I mean, not that it didn't have to be that way. It just, you know, that's what happens when you play Monopoly with real life. Is eventually somebody wins and everyone else has got to basically they got to go because you can't afford rent no more around this block. Not even on Baltic. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Stringed weapons. I mean, you can use this string principle to a staff, a sword. Like I seen this movie, like Ninja Scroll, like the lead character, he had his sword tied to a long, tiny string, like almost like fishing string. You know what I'm saying? It was probably made out of silk or something, you know. But so it's not uncommon technique, you know. So just yeah, stringed weapons.